Alright, I normally don't do videos like this, but I'm rendering some other videos, so, gotta do something to stay productive, and this is a, absolutely wild exotic armor tuning preview, and, the reason why is down here at the bottom with Starfire Protocol, but we'll get to that later. We'll go through one by one. A lot of these don't seem like a big deal. We're not going to be reading these out all the way through. We're not that desperate for content on the channel, but this is also a reminder. I do make Destiny content sometimes, but I'm not mad at the game. Anyways, we're just going to be talking about these because I think some of these changes are cool, some of these changes are weird, and some of them excite me and some of them don't. Let's get started. Hunter exotic armor changes, starting with Sealed Amkara Grasps. Ahamkara Grasps, whatever. This exotic will now reload the magazine of all your weapons when you defeat something with a powered melee. Very cool, very useful for Solar Hunter. And for 5 seconds after dealing melee damage, you gain increased movement speed and jump height. Weird. Not a big fan of that secondary thing, but I also dislike anything that changes the base functionality of how my character plays, so to speak. It's one of the reasons why when I play Arc, I get a little annoyed at the speed boost, but it's not the worst thing in the world that they've ever done. Athros' Embrace, it's a pretty cool exotic that is all about throwing knives that are super giga powerful. And apparently now it just gives additional strength while weighted knife damage bonus is active. So in other words, after you hit your headshots and get the weighted knife bonus, you now just regen it faster. I mean, that's nice. I don't really quite see why it's that great. I guess if you don't get your dodge to go off perfectly in PvP or something, it'll be nice. Maybe. I don't know, bit of a weird change. Not my favorite. This one seems cool though. Oathkeepers, which are the bow gloves, in case you don't know. When fully drawn, bows gain a bonus damage against combatants that increases as you hold the draw, but deactivates after a few seconds. Basically bringing back the idea of the perfect draw and release that most other classes have to do. Hunters can kind of get rid of that idea with Oathkeepers. It seems like Oathkeepers are doing that, but better. And according to the dev commentary, they just basically don't want people AFK crouching with a with like a lemon arc behind a wall, or like crouching with a wish ender seeing through the wall or something like that. And instead it'll be more of a, okay, well now you can use this bow as a legitimate option to just kind of go ham. And honestly, I dig it. It kind of makes me want to try out some more legendary bows again. Because honestly, that tiny bit of bonus damage that they give might be enough to make it sound fun. Raiju's Harness, I'm not gonna lie, I don't actually know what Raiju's Harness does off the top of my head, because I've never used the damn thing. But apparently when deactivating your Arc Staff super, you create a blinding explosion that temporarily increases your arc weapon damage. Kinda cool. However, blocking with Whirlwind Guard will no longer consume energy more slowly. Kinda not cool. It seems kind of weird. It seems like it's still, like, they just don't want it to work with the Throne Arc Staff, which is fine. Not every exotic needs to work with every super. But I guess it's not a bad idea of an exotic. I just feel like, why would I ever use Raiju's Harness when, I don't know, Liar's Handshake, Assassin's Cowl, even just Dragon's Shadow, when all of those exist? But, whatever. Radiant Dance Machines. Kill while your free dodge is active. Extend the duration to free dodging. Very cool. No longer deactivates when you get too far away from enemies. Also very cool. Deactivates after using Suspending Slam. Fine. Take away our fun. This really isn't that big of a deal. It does balance them a bit more. It was a little overpowered to be able to dodge once near an enemy and then go suspend, 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 suspend. And if you had the ability to keep getting kills to refresh it while suspend slamming, I think that might end up being a little overpowered. I don't hate it. It seems to be a change in how they want the thing to work. They also have dev commentary here, which I haven't read yet. Let's read it. Paraexternal with Marksman Dodge, the Reaper Armor mod, a new powerful attraction mod that allows you to collect orbs of power at a distance. Players can have free dodges for long stretches. Yeah. Allowing it to continue granting free suspending slams made it a little too easy to create infinite orbs without ever having to risk your own survival. I get it. I understand that. Little disappointing, but I think that that'll actually be a really powerful choice for basically anybody but Strand now. Had to drink water, sorry. Stompies. Removed airborne effectiveness penalties. You only gain increased speed, slide distance, and improved jumping while your dodge energy is full. So, in other words, they are now only good if you have a dodge. I don't use these anyways, but that seems like a really big nerf. Removing airborne effectiveness penalties, cool. You only gain all of this while dodge energy is full, kinda wild. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be well received by the community, but I don't hate it, personally. I think they're just trying to escape from the Stompies meta that is still in existence. Bacchus. Change to use Tier 4 non-stacking weapon damage bonus, which behaves the same way as the non-stacking damage bonus provided by Surge mods. Damage increased in PvE from 10 to 25% and now grants 6% weapon damage bonus in PvP. No longer stacked with Surge-like armor mods, but provides a larger bonus that can be achieved with 3 such mods equipped. That's a giant gobbledygook of text, Bungie. I'm not gonna lie, maybe you could have phrased that a bit better. I don't hate the phrasing, but maybe it could have been done a bit better. So the bottom line seems to be that damage bonus is now just straight up flat 25% for your arc weapons and then damage against slowed or frozen targets, which is cool. And instead of being able to stack with Surge mods, it now just does more than 3 of them combined. I feel like that's actually pretty cool. I feel like Bacchus is in kind of a weird place at the moment because Stasis is kind of bad. This might help it retain some legitimacy and be a little bit stronger. I know they're buffing Shatter Dive to go to having 2 slots on it next season as opposed to 1 like it has now. Those things combined might make it a little bit fun to run Bacchus Shatter Dive and just get this massive weapon damage bonus while shattering the world. Obviously weapon testing and stuff will have to be done, but it seems cool. Titans! I'm not gonna lie, not really a Titan player, but we'll skim read these and see if they sound cool. Point contact cannon brace. I've heard this thing was trash. Lightning strike jolt, good. I don't think it did that before. Jolting is always good. Increased PV damage from 50 to 200. Yep, 4 times damage boost. Sounds good. Being amplified now increases the damage by 50% instead of exterior. Yep, okay, cool. They buffed the crap out of it. Sounds good. Backup plans are getting a complete rework, replacing the old functionality entirely. Now they get airborne effectiveness and reload speed on shotguns. That's terrifying for PvP, but whatever. While you avoid overshield, shotguns deal additional damage, and shotgun final blows now refresh the overshield. Also terrifying for PvP, but whatever. While using avoid subclass rapid shotgun, final blows, or defeating a powerful enemy will grant you avoid overshield and kick off your health regen. Seems like a really solid PvE rework that is going to be probably a little terrifying in PvP, but I like it. It sounds good, it sounds fun. I don't really play Titan that much or run no backup planes that much myself, but I'm probably going to get crushed by them in the Crucible in the future. Second Chance. These I loved and hated. They seemed so good, but they were never that great. Second, shield throw now weakens enemies. Poggers, that's huge. Running a barrier champion now grants a single full... Okay, this is huge. This is enormous. These shields went from F tier to at least B tier. Shield throws now weakening melee enemies is really, really good, considering you can use these on anti-barrier champs. And now stunning a barrier champ gives you a full melee, meaning you can infinitely stun them. My cat has decided to join me while I'm recording this. I'm sorry, cat. I'm recording. I cannot help you. Strongholds. Replace the healing from blocking with significant damage reduction while blocking. When you stop blocking, you gain restoration times 2? For those of you who don't know, restoration times 2 makes you almost unkillable in most PvE content. That's kind of insane. Duration that increases based on the number of shots you blocked. I mean, you still do have to use swords for it, but that seems like a really, really, really strong buff. The unfortunate downside is you have to be using a sword and you have to be using the strongholds, when instead you could just be throwing infinite bonk hammers for restoration times 1. But hey, it sounds cool. We'll see how that goes. Eternal Warrior. This thing's always been asked, but alright, let's see. Rapid takedowns with an arc weapon. Grants an escalating damage to non-stacking damage bonus used by Surge mods. This is very similar to how they reworked Bacchus. And it seems like they're turning it into the burning steps. These. Literally. That's like the same thing. Oh, they are literally the same thing. They're like literally the same thing. The Eternal Warrior is now Path of Burning Steps, but for Arc. That's cool. My cat has jumped in my lap. I hope you I hope you are excited, dear viewer. I'm sorry if she bumps into the microphone. She clearly really wants attention. And we're not re-recording this. I refuse. Kepri's Horn. Solar damage now scorches. Fine, whatever. Kepri's Horn still sucks. This seems like a good change for Path of Burning Steps and Eternal Warrior, though. Just bringing them in line. It seems more like a rework for sanity's sake for the devs than anything. Dune Marchers. Oh, good lord, yes! The range from 20 meters to 12. Much, much better. Thank you. And PvP damage from 85 to 50. Thank God. You'll probably not be one-shot unless you're grouped up as a pile of like 5 now. Thank the Lord. Hopefully that's good enough to make Dune Marcher's chain stop being so bullshit. And I do mean bullshit, because it's kind of bullshit to be killed around a corner by someone who you can't even see, as they say. Anyways, Warlocks. Vesper of Radius. Your Arc Shockwave that deals damage. Enemies defeated explode and blind if you have Arc equipped. Don't think that's enough to save Vesper of Radius, but good on you for trying, Bungie. Chromatic Fire. Increase the radius and damage of the explosions. That's good. Explosion also applies... Oh, that's huge! Explosion also applies the status effect. It can blind, it can scorch, it can slow, it can sever, or it can weaken. That's really, really nice. That makes it a much more fun, like, casual run around, shoot shit with a hand cannon exotic. Oh, that's a really nice change. I really like that. I don't know if it'll be enough to save Chromatic Fire, kind of the same as my argument for Vesper. But, like, that's a really cool change. I really like that. This section right here excites me more than, like, it's a slightly better explosion. Yeah, whatever, you've said that before. The fact that it applies status effects is really, really nice. Pair this, like, honest to God, personally, I'm gonna slap on, like, Arc Warlock, this chest piece, and then Ace of Spades, so that I do a fire shock explosion that blinds. Sounds great to me. Dawn Chorus. Projectile damage bonus has been increased and is no longer reliant on the enemy being scorched. Okay. Dawn Chorus was already pretty good, but I'm okay with that. Sanguine Alchemy, another dead exotic. Standing in a rift grants a non-stacking bonus to weapon damage matching your subclass damage type. This damage bonus is the equivalent of 2 Surge Leg mods. That's going to be scary in PvP and probably not good enough to matter in PvE. Why do I say that? Because you don't really want to stand still in a rift in PvE most of the time. If you're in content where you're standing still in a rift, you're probably just going to be running Starfire, though that might change with this thing we're seeing. I've already been spoiled on it because people were very, very loud about the change, but we'll see about Sanguine Alchemy. The damage buff might be enough to make it be worthwhile. I think in PvP it's going to be pretty scary, honestly, because it's just a rift, meaning you can drop Empowering and get bonus stacking damage. That'll be pretty scary. Flaws. Powered melee kills create an orb of power. When heavy-handed mod are equipped, increases the potency of the orb spawned. So it basically, they just gave it intrinsic heavy-handed. I'm okay with that. Flaws are fine, but they need a little love to keep up with the power level that the game has found itself in lately. I don't hate that change. I think it's pretty cool overall. It does make it easier to build with them. They become a much better just neutral game exotic for certain things. Will it be better than other exotics? I don't know. We'll find out, right? Mantle of Battle Harmony. Weapon damage about this. Oh man. When super is fully charged, 20 to 25%, and reducing the damage bonus from 15 to 6 in PvP. No longer stacks with surges, but provides a larger bonus that can be achieved with 3 such mods. Stacks with Empowering Rift and other similar damage bonuses. It's into the base duration of this bonus. Okay. Sounds like they buffed it, but did slight changes to it. Not gonna lie, I don't think I remember how the original Battle Harmony worked anyways, but, whatever. It sounds cool. I don't know if it's gonna make me use the exotic, but it sounds cool. Aethidians, removed extended melee range. Sure. Prometheum Spurs, grants rift energy for any solar weapon takedown, with more energy granted for solar weapon takedowns while standing in a rift. You have to be standing in a rift when you get a final blow for the exotic to consume your class ability and create a rift. Sounds like a minor rework. That sounds pretty cool. And let's look at the biggest nerf in the room. You may have seen it hovering around the bottom of the screen there, but this is fucking ridiculous. Reduce the amount of energy gained per instance of damage from 20% to 2.5%. From 20%, so a fifth of your grenade coming back for per instance of damage, to 2.5%. Which is a 40th, if my math is right off the top of my head. I apologize, I'm bad at math. I could be off. 40th sounds right, though. That's a enormous scalar nerf, but to be completely honest, it's had it coming for a while. It's been the S tier exotic for forever. Do I think this is probably a little overdone? Tiny bit, maybe like 20% down to like 5% in place of 2.5%, but we'll have to see it in practice. Empowered weapon kills now grant 20% grenade energy, meaning that the neutral game of this exotic is probably going to be pretty similar. The classic throw down a rift, throw a grenade to get your rift back, kill some stuff while standing in the rift with your guns, and then you get your rift back and you get your grenades back. It's probably going to still be usable in PvE outside of DPS phases, but in DPS phases, you will have gone from being able to with a horde grenade, rocket grenade, rocket grenade, with a horde grenade, rocket grenade, rocket grenade, with a horde grenade. You get what I'm saying? The cycle of demolitionist rockets. I don't think that's going to be possible anymore with this change, which is going to be rough. And this exotic has been strong for a long time, ever since Solar 3.0. Yes. They didn't want to completely rob the exotic of its benefits, but right now Starfire is one of the best single damage boosting exotics. Combined with a horde or Wolfpack rounds with a rocket launcher with demo, and you essentially get an infinite loops of rockets and double detonating grenades. Yes. That's sucking all the air out of the room. They are not wrong. These changes are intended to tamp down on passive weapon damage, giving you your grenades back too quickly, while also pushing it away from single target damage dominance and more towards neutral play. If it feels as good as it sounds, I'm gonna enjoy it, and it's gonna be great fun still. But it will absolutely not be a thing that I pull out and raid anymore. I'll probably just swap like a... I don't even know what I'll swap to. I'll have to figure that out, because this is just the go-to, oh, I'm on well, guess I drop on Starfire because it's that good. I guess we'll have something else that'll take up the mantle, so to speak. Overall, these are pretty good changes. I don't think any change really sticks out to me as, oh my god, why did you do that? Other than, like, a little bit of the Starfire nerf. I think it was a little too heavy-handed, but I think they just know that it needs to take a backseat for a minute. Either way, I like this, and I hope you enjoyed me chatting and talking about this. I just kind of wanted to make some random content for the day, because I'm having to wait for videos to render. This is very off-the-cuff and very relaxed and just chatty. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and all that stuff, and I hope to catch you in the next one.